runs the Totalist party. We'll see if that ends up happening. We're gonna save right here because we gotta make sure that Canada's gonna warn Panama. We need to make sure we don't go status quo because that screwed us over last time, and I don't want to have to I'll be honest. If we need to restart the campaign for a third time, we're not restarting for a third time. We're just gonna do something different. Slovaks Romanians invited to the Oshlig. If it wasn't enough for the Viennese government to call for the Czechs, Poles, and other ethnicities to the other side of the emperor to the negotiation table, Poland had done the same for even the nationalists within our own borders. The Slovaks and Romanians of the Carpathian Basin have been subdued successfully for centuries, but support from Vienna has awoken underground nationalist movements from their slumber. Just protesting is not enough. We shall take no part in such a meeting. And now we've got to... Again, I'm assuming they're going to... Am I still a puppet of theirs? I am still a puppet. Where are you guys going? I mean, Venice now exists. They're moving their units back here. Are you doing something? Female pilots? No. Again, these 10 units here are basically just ready to deploy wherever they need to be. I like how... Why would he be lying about what time zone he is? Like, it's such a weird thing to lie about. Okay, I believe it's good. We're in Paraguay. Okay, well, right now we can't do anything. Syndicalist revolutionaries in Switzerland. I mean, you can do status quo. Slovak and Romanian nationalism, without a doubt inspired by support from the king and his government in Vienna, have given time for the Austrian negotiations. Slovak and Romanian protesters are marching through the streets, holding pro-Austrian but anti-Hungarian protest. Oh dear. We're gonna lose a lot of political power until like a year? Are you kidding me? That's a lot of... We're gonna be losing 1 point for a while here. Also, looks like Slovenia is declaring their independence. Or at least they're getting more autonomy within Austria. I'll still be able to... Okay, apparently you've now formed the Eurasian bloc. Have I screwed this up again? So I said to secure... Austria demands our authorities evacuate Slovakia and Transylvania. Austria has demanded our administration and our forces to leave Slovakia. No. I'm gonna say no to that. Yes. Okay, Romania joined the faction. It seems Hungarian independence has come to a shock to Vienna. The emperor has proposed an armistice for the time being, though he has refused to acknowledge Hungary's independence, and the German Kaiser has followed his lead. The Austrians wish to maintain Hungary within the Habsburg dominion, but are willing to negotiate rather than resort to violence. For the time being, it's probable for Austrians to use this time to mobilize their smaller military. Likely that if we maintain our independence, we will eventually come to blows. No, we're refusing the ultimatum. Okay, we declared war on you. So we're at war with the entirety of the... Oh, we have 10 free divisions. Okay, cool. We'll get you guys immediately deploy up to this border. No, okay, delete this for a second. You're going to deploy up to this border. Brown Army is going to deploy down towards the south. These two armies are basically just defensive in nature. Delete all these guys. And are you on aggressive? Yes, you are. Okay, so we're at war with a lot of people right now. A new leader. The moment we became independent or former oppressor Austria, we need a new leader for our government. We want to go for the Social Democrats. The MSDVP will become the ruling party. Public election will not be held. So we are now Social Democratic. And Sweden had joined the Reichsbank. The Social Democratic Provisional Government. Please pause the game while I'm reading. Thank you. We did take Vienna. The first government of an independent Hungary since 1848 has been sworn in to lead the fledgling nation. The Social Democratic Party of Hungary promises a better, fairer Hungary with work for every man and food on every table. The Prime Minister, Ep.3, makes the first steps towards future by inviting syndicalists and socialist politicians previously banished to the imperial government to return to Hungary. This includes men with dangerous ties to arch-syndicalists in Paris, such as Bela Kun, Tibor Swensky, and Matthias Rolski. Welcome home. We don't care about fighter trials that much. I'd much rather just do Is This Social Democracy? Or propaganda. And I want purple and... I mean, how close? You're halfway now. Legitimate protest independence. Many Hungarian aristocrats, clergymen, and military officers are vocally opposed to new status quo in Hungary. Most of them are devout Roman Catholics and traditionalists who see the end of the monarchy as a great moral and psychological blow. While some are resigned to the end of the empire and simply want to feel heard, others have undoubtedly continued to fight for the emperor. Very rude. Don't do that. And Vienna has fought. I mean, we already took Vienna a while ago. Okay, Spanish Civil War. Who's gonna win? We want CNT to win. I should have actually read what that event said, because I didn't actually see what it said. Okay, move way up towards Salzburg. Is there like a timer for how long this war will last? I don't know. It's like Germany's sending people to support you. It's unfortunate that you're getting support. We might need more units on this front. Can actually capitulate, but I don't want to go towards the border with Poland. Because Poland's also in this war. Like, we are definitely outnumbered, which is, like, not good. But we just need to fight for our independence. Wait, the Italian Federation's at war with the Austrians. Let's go! Austria, send your troops over there. Get the hell out of here. Because you're taking Graz, which puts you at 44%. Hold combat maneuvers for now. No, pause for a second. You stay here. You stay here. Two of you are here. That seems okay for now. I would like more troops for sure. Because how many troops do you have? You have 3 to 29. 15, 5, and Krakow's were 20. We can maybe kill you. I mean, it's not going to be an easy fight, don't get me wrong. And Austria's actually pushing her way through this country, which is less than ideal. Okay, let's go to Vienna. Secure this. Okay, fall back. The thing is, like, the problem, of course, is that we just don't have enough men. We would like more soldiers, but soldiers are not, like, easy to come by. Especially since we had to actually fight the, You know what, fall back, actually, a little bit. We just gotta defend Budapest. Like, all of Transylvania, I'm kind of okay if it falls. War support, stability, political power goes up. You know, let's solve Black Monday. Deal with it as much as we possibly can. Brown Army, you're gonna hold for now. And the Totalists have assumed control. Prime Minister Ep.3 was always a fellow traveler to the syndicalist movement. It was for this reason he invited the arch-leftist Hungarian politics to return home to Hungary. And it was for this reason he incorporated many of the most influential members of the government, including Bela Kun and Mecset Raczkowski. These Totalists, with their revolutionary ideals and ties to Paris, quickly amassed a following in the new Hungarian government. The outmaneuvered Skretskis, while the prime minister thought he was in control, the communists plotted. They filled the government with their fellows, squeezed out those of questionable loyalty. It wasn't long before the newspapers began referring to Kun's government rather than Skretski's. Ultimately, the emotion was put on the prime minister's desk, guided by leaders of Skret's party and government, demanding greater autonomy and responsibility for the foreign minister, Bela Kun. Bela Kun is now the leader of the Totalist. The KMP is now the ruling party. And we've gone Totalist. Defend this for as much as we can. Pull back a little bit. I need, Hey, France, do you want to provide any kind of support? Actually, can I send troops, like, through here? Down towards Trieste? Okay, we're holding the line. You are all just on the defense. Yeah, we gotta hold Budapest. Budapest is, like, the most important place to hold. Yeah, so fall back behind the river. Yeah, send the cavalry unit in instead. He's gonna be much better for the job. Actually, you know what? Purple line. Delete your orders for now. Set up a fallback line like this. Again, Transylvania, I don't think it matters as much. You just want to focus on officers have resigned in protest. It should have been obvious the military is always attracted petty noblemen, attracted prestige, no loyalty to the state. So all of our generals have now given up. But that's okay. We have more generals we can just put in their place. Pull our men back. Let's go to war economy right now. Will that be enough for them to capitulate? Keep on pushing here. Graz he might pull back, but like, no, go back to Graz. Stay where you are for now. How is Italy doing? They're pushing their way towards Bozen, which were 15 victory points. I mean, Austria's at 31% capitulation right now. You're holding the line where I want you to decently enough. You hold off on attacking. Austria as repeats. It seems that the Austrians are tired of war and have finally come to their senses. And voice from the Emperor say he is prepared to recognize Hungarian independence, as well as make the crowns of Saint Stefan whole again by restoring territory to the king, the territory of the Kingdom of Croatia and Hungary, and once again open Hungary's access to the sea. So the general staff sees a sign of weakness, and we should press on for a better deal or total capitulation. We annex Illyria. You know what? Hungary does triumph. I feel like this is an okay place to end the war. We survived as best we can. Put the militias in here. We love to see it. And yeah, now we have more military factories. What do we need? Probably aircraft. And let's start making at least a basic amount of convoys. And why not go for a crew population? Let's put you guys on this border. We'll put you on this border for now. Of course, Romania and Serbia could theoretically still attack me. They actually might be the biggest threat to us right now. You know what? Let's actually turn our forces towards them. And demobilize the economy. Fate of Bosnia. So I guess we'll liberate Bosnia. Fate of Montenegro. And the fate... I mean, you want me to demobilize the economy, which I don't really want to do. We can also only military occupy you. Bring these troops down here. Just ready to go to war with Romania and Serbia just in case. Actually, can I justify a war against you? I could just attack them right now. Secure the oil field in Romania. Take 180 days. But if they end up going to war with Slavic Federation, just stay out of my way. Bulgaria. Like, you could attack them if you wanted to. Of course, you're still at war with the Italian. And also, Hungarian Empire is also looking, you know, much sadder now than it used to. I'm still worried about Austria, for sure. Solving Black Monday. If Hungary is to be saved from the depths of Black Money, then it must reach for bold, creative solutions. We must break the chains of labor, liberate the working class, and throw down the parasitic landlords and clergymen growing fat off the backs of Hungary's lifeblood. No ideas too beyond the pale. Social revolution requires a will of iron, and if doubters come to critique our methods, believe in ultimate victory. We got Jackman boys. No matter what, we're losing stability. 2 civilian factories. I guess we'll go for the Jackman boys first. Give me the 2 civilian factories to begin with. I mean, how much troops do you guys have? You have 4 to 18, 5 to 21. And whispers of counter-revolution. Many of the party's radical changes in Hungary society have stirred up resentment within the traditional spheres of power. And we must yet win over the support of the working class. Lingering aristocrats, disloyal army officers, and wicked priests are trying to turn the population against us. They point out to the most violent extreme measures taken by the party, as well as the remaining impact of Black Monday. Still more threatening are ardent monarchists in Austria sending money and spies into the country. How dare you? How dare you? And when can I actually... I don't know when we'll be able to actually join the Internationale. I'm assuming at some point. I just don't know when that would be. Militias attack the government. In the aftermath of Black Monday, a number of paramilitary groups and militias organized into rural Hungary to bring order to the chaos of banditry and food shortages, as well as to abuse and exploit the peasant farmers. Now, however, the militias have turned their guns on the state. Party officials and Jackman boys attempting to collect the grains tribute and enforce land collectivization have been murdered. Most disturbingly, their mutilated bodies are left in public, and superstitious peasants are seemingly too afraid to testify with the whereabouts of the militias. They say that a demon leads the cruelest of militias. A Field Creek veteran named Paul Prune. His men display a suicidal loyalty to the old devil. Well, I guess we'll just have to see about that, won't we? We'll just have to see about that. So again, if you guys would join me, let me join the International, I'd be, you know, very, very pleased with that. Yeah, so Russia fighting the Alash autonomy. Army ignores Budapest. Following attacks on party officials by rural militia, Tibor Smolenski commanded divisions of the regional Hansrist to deploy to the outfold and hunt the fiend. Most of these orders have been ignored. Telegrams and phone calls go unanswered. Very few divisions have actually deployed to face the threat. Army officials in the capital are unsure of the reason for such blatant insubordination, though they have their suspicion. The militias are mainly made up of reservists and veterans of the Weltkrieg. Our soldiers are unwilling to fight them for a government they can barely tolerate. What's the plan for Hungary? Just fight normal Weltkrieg? Basically, I don't really know what else we could really do right now. But it looks like Switzerland has joined up with the International, which is very, very good for the International. That's actually a very powerful country to have on their side. Of course, the Italians and you are still fighting. Peasants side with the militias. In a sudden turn of events, many peasant farmers have sided with the militias. When government officials came to collect the grain tithe, peasants refused and threatened to call militias down on them. Hungarian countryside has become a nest of spies and vipers. Members of the old Social Democratic Party note that the peasants are likely responding to the cruel manner of enforcement of Swensen's Jackman boys, who are seen as little different from Black Monday's bandits. Our advisors from Paris note that they are likely expected land redistribution from the aristocrats rather than total collectivization by the state. Okay, let's get some research. Well, it's 1937 right now. Let's go for the 1938 research. Maybe we can eventually join the minority areas. We get some good steel. We actually get more cores. Are you not cores of mine? No, you're at 7%. Fume. Croatia, but not. Slovakia. Is that concluding you? Herzegovina. I don't think so, right? No. Red Guard to trans militias. It is clear that the army cannot be trusted. Miotretz Rodsky has suggested drafting some loyal members of the Buda Hutsquid to enlisting dedicated out-of-work citizens, as well as some of the Jackman boys. They will form a Red Guard division of known quality who can deal with these counter-revolution scoundrels in the countryside and remind the peasants who's buttering their bread. Careful torture of some peasant farmers has finally revealed the hideaways of Pandas militias, and they are the first target of our new red Hunvedsek. We will crush them. We will crush them. Pornoi ambushes our forces! Disaster! That devil Pornoi has ambushed and defeated the red Hunvedsek. Despite outnumbering the counter-revolutionaries many times over, Pornoi's militias use superior knowledge of the land and warfighting experience to utterly defeat the newly minted Red Guard of Hungary. Even when the Red Guard had the upper hand, the suicidal devotion of Pornoi's men overcame seemingly insurmountable odds. Utter decimation followed, with peasants helping the militias round up fleeing soldiers, in a complete humiliation for the government, has emboldened the reactionary forces in the nation. The entire division disappeared into the Hungarian countryside. We need to upgrade our planes, make them a little bit better. We have 11,000 rifles. You know what? That's actually, like, pretty good. And we actually have a lot of manpower. So let's get you guys up to fighting order. 20 combat width. We have enough guns. Well, you have barely enough guns. But we should have the manpower to make these guys all at least 20 combat width. Making them significantly more powerful, which is what we want. Very good, very good. And again, we can have a max of 74 divisions, which is pretty strong. We've got the Jackman boys. Let's go. You know, let's get the Red Tater started. Is there anything else I need to note about this? Okay, select this. Go to the focus tree and watch. Okay. So apparently, as long as we just, like, stay the course, we should be okay. Counter-revolutionary government formed in Szeged. Following the victory of Palaprone, the impunity of which militias continue to operate in the countryside, some members of the military have openly declared opposition to the government. Together with returning legitimates from Austrian militias in the Alford, they have formed a provisional counter-revolutionary government in the south city of Szeged. Hungary calls itself the Magyar something, or the Hungarian National Defense League. It's currently led by the triumvirate of Baron Anton, a veteran who has earned his noble title on the battlefields of the Wild Creek, and Paul Prone, the reactionary devil. While they have many political differences, they are united in their opposition to Bela Kun's government and declare themselves a legitimate government of Hungary. So they have gone down to... So they're right here. Okay. They declared war on Bulgaria. Go for 1938 rifles. 175 days. Did Greece not join with the Yeah, Greece actually didn't join the war. Interesting. The Jackman Boys. It's initially assumed that the peasant class of rural Hungary would flock to the socialists upon their return to the countryside, as Kunitz associations were the only men in Hungary willing to take on the peasants class of traditional abusers, aristocrats in the church. Unfortunately, farmers have had some of the most resistance to the party's reforms, even in the midst of banditry and food shortages. The Bur Zbensky Commissar of the Military Affairs proposed using the ever-expanded personal bodyguard, the affectionately named Jackman Boys, to remind such uncooperative counter-revolutionaries that are placed in New Hungary. Many of the Jackman Boys are bandits, thugs, and gangsters who took advantage of the poor in the days of Black Monday. This is the experience Wesley thinks he can put to good use. Also, we can upgrade our light tanks, light tank 2. So, I mean, Bulgaria can probably fight both of them, right? Seeing as they're not actually fighting, Greece as well. The counter-revolution marches on Budapest. The forces of counter-revolution have made their move. The Loyal Army Division and disorganized militias have joined an armed column to march on the capital. The conflict will come at the head where the revolution began. Reactionaries show their weakness and their impatience. They know that if they wait in their false government and citizens, people will see them for the power-hungry fools that they are and flock to the party. We will resist. Budapest is our city. It is the birthplace of the revolution, and no aristocrat or his military stooges can take it from us. We do need more rubber. We'll get that from German East Asia. We can start trying to produce our air fleet as much as we possibly can. So it looks like you guys have joined up with the Reichspakt. You guys have gone socialist. You're still totalist. You're fighting Russia much better than I thought you would. In the Siege of Budapest. Again, we're going to look at the path guides for a second. So, reactions of March in Budapest, how do you take a few? Okay, so we just got to make sure, we just got to remain in the city. The forces of the counter-revolution have arrived in the capital. Arrayed before the city, the threat suddenly seemed much more dire than it did before. Where are the people rising up to defend us? Where are the loyal sections of the army? At the moment, most of the Hotstrike is staying out of the conflict, waiting to see who comes out on the other side. Cowards! The revolution lives and dies in the back of the working class of Budapest. Unionists and party members have armed themselves, ready to oppose the reactionaries that are crossing the Danube. They will defend the city. We gotta remain in the city. More planning. Don't really care about that right now. Let's go for battlefield support. 91 days is pretty cheap. And we should get a pop-up soon. The counter-revolution lacks support. Perhaps the counter-revolution thought the government would give up, that Bela Kun and his cronies would flee the city and abandon it to be despoiled by reactionaries. They understand their mettle, though Pal Prone urged the army to push into Budapest, sweep aside the makeshift barricades, and put the population to the sword. They heard countermounted him, expecting the city to receive them as liberators. The delay which followed undermined the confidence of the neutral members of the military had in the counter-revolution. When the people failed to rise up in favor of the usurpers, the rest of the army declared for Bela Kun's government. The hours that followed were chaotic. Infighting between nationalists and legitimate factions became apparent. The force of reaction bled away. Lahar and Horthy retreated to Szeged, making plans to return to Austria. Palprone and his militias fled back to the hills to fight another day, clearly demoralized. Not demobilized. But it looks like we have secured our position. Still want me to demobilize? I guess I probably actually have visual effects, widespread. I guess we'll demobilize for right now. Not take the penalties. Constitution of the American Republic. Who's that? Oh, you guys. Okay. You're declaring war on more people. And it looks like Belgium has also gone syndicalist, so the Internationale is having a fantastic game in Europe. It's like, sure, they lost Mexico to the Entente. And, I mean, they actually might still win in Argentina. But, I mean, they're doing pretty well. So it's like, you're now also fighting against the Ottoman Empire. I mean, 175 days. Like, I want to invade the Belgrade Pact and take over this area, because getting the oil from Romania would be really nice. And we also want to make sure they don't end up joining the Eurasian bloc in the future. So, you know what? We'll justify a war. And we'll see how it goes. So, you declare war on the Dutch East Indies. Because we want Andalusia to end up winning that war. It'll be for the best for us. And Japan, what are you guys doing? Nothing too crazy. So we got the Red Terror.